What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the hashtag Save Siege movement and what Ubisoft has done to address all this and what's happening going forward. So, first we're going to go through their post. They made a post on Twitter, and this is the link that they posted with it. So, anti-cheat updates. They're saying they're going to make anti-cheat changes. I mean, TLDR, you know, it is what it is at this point. We've heard a lot of anti-cheat stuff happening every season and nothing's really happening. And just recently they made a post looking for a new anti-cheat like team dev, like senior operator. So, you know, they're looking for new employees for the anti-cheat team. So it is what it is on that. All right, balancing. So it does look with balancing that things are looking forward. So like I've always been a massive opponent of nerfing fun operators and leaving bad operators still bad. So everything just slowly gets bad and unfun and unplayable. I definitely think that I would leave the good operators alone and spend a lot of my efforts buffing the weaker operators so everything is fun. And it does look like they are kind of steering towards that direction from what I've seen. And we're going to go through some of those changes. We're going to go through patch notes and everything. So ranked and matchmaking, there's a ranked 3.0 overhaul that's going to happen, which is going to be a good thing for a lot of you that play ranked, probably most of you. Definitely a good thing on that. So now let's look at some of the designer notes. So here's what I'm talking about. So here is win delta for attackers. Overpick too strong means it's picked a lot, and if it's over this line, it wins more times than not. It's under, if it's down here, means it's overpicked and it's weak. And most operators are going to be underpick too strong or underpick too weak. These are the operators right here in this category that I think that need to be the sole focus of buffs. Not every operator in that, but these are the operators that need to be changed. So I'm worried about things like this, where Aruni is overpicked and too strong, that she's going to end up losing an ACOG or something. That's what I worry about, because it's like, Aruni herself isn't inherently strong. She just has an ACOG. Like, why not buff the operators that are like in mid tier, like Wamai and Yeg? Like, I know Wamai just got kind of a nice buff with the super shorty, but right now he's still kind of weak. Definitely would way rather see buffs on weak operators, making everything better and more playable, than just nerfing all the things that are fun and making the game, taking away content and making creators basically leave and quit Siege. Like, I've seen several creators actively quitting Siege, like Varsity. I'm not sure if Varsity fully quit, but Macy J, Pox on Locks. There's probably a few that I'm probably not naming here, but a lot of people have been quitting Siege because of the lack of content and just generally unplayable situation that we have. Like right now, most of us have been playing in Hungry 10-mans. If you guys want to join that, jump in my stream and just type the link in. Hungry 10-mans is pretty fun. There's a bunch of pros and stuff. Here's me. Basically simulating like ranked style in a way. But we can ban people if they're cheating, which is kind of nice. So operator bans, I mean, nothing too crazy here. Ace is probably one of the best hard breachers in the game, especially in a ranked level. You throw Ace at the wall, you have a good gun, and you can just play. I mean, not really surprised on any of these bans. The bans, yeah, Valk definitely taking a little bit more of a back seat nowadays, but Cade Mira is definitely not a bad ban on any map. All right, so now some of the balancing changes. Today, I'm just kind of really talking about like literally whatever comes to mind. I just really want to talk about everything that Ubisoft is doing with this Save Siege movement and how the community is reacting to it. All right, here, operator balancing. So these are, to me, steps in the right direction of balancing operators that are weaker and making them more playable. I think things like this are good going forward. So Denari, lasers are going to do 20 damage, and the connectors are going to reconnect instantly after having the line of sight blocked. They took this part away, the line of sight blocking thing, because they were trying to. I don't know, because noobs were complaining or something, but Dinar was already. I thought Dinar was gonna be a super strong operator. Now Dinar is honestly a kind of a weak operator. So this definitely makes Dinar a little bit better, and then buffing the laser damage is also a little bit better. I haven't really ran into any situation where I ran into a Dinar and been like, oh my god, this is unbeatable, unplayable. Nothing's really happened for me. So secondary shotgun is going to get a slight damage buff, because I don't know about you guys, but there are some operators you couldn't two-shot with this thing, so a little bit of damage is not bad. Damage drop-off also increased to other slug shotguns. And they increased the mag capacity from 29 to 44. I think that I can speak for everybody when making rotates or lines of sight with the secondary shotgun. So most of the time I ran out of ammo, so increase the ammo count definitely necessary. So Yag is going to get a tiny buff. Different pistol. I believe that this is Ella's pistol. I could be wrong on that, but giving people more options to the Jaeger shotgun M870. Yeah, I believe it's. Yeah, it is Ella's pistol. I just want to make sure, so I'm not talking out on my ass and saying that it's not true. So they want to give more variety to the M870 as a primary loadout for, like, you know, side rotations, whatever. But still, like, I don't feel like this is a amazing sidearm in the terms of making Jaeger a way better operator. I think this is kind of like a sidestep kind of buff, but you know, it is what it is. Bandit. So this to me is letting Ubisoft letting us know that they actually kind of understand how the meta is, which is nice. The Karatos revolver is going on Bandit, which is nice because this lets you put holes into walls as well as make lines of sight. You can't make rotates with it, but you can make quick lines of sight as well as make holes in walls. And with, you know, with bandit tricking, when you open up the, you know, when you're reinforcing a wall that you're going to potentially bandit trick, you put some holes in the wall, so you can hear audio through it better. And they do kind of mention that. So it definitely makes it bandit a little bit better, because I was having to do that with my MP7, and then ammo capacity you have to worry about. And I'm like, I'll have like 60 extra bullets. So the Karatos is going to save me quite a bit of time, and I'm going to save a lot of ammo. Solus, this buff is actually pretty big. This is probably the biggest change that I saw. Is Solus is actually getting a pretty decent buff. So almost doubling the range of the detection. And we'll get impact grenades. Pretty massive. Pretty massive, because Solus without any type of real like util with that situation, it was going to be kind of hard to really stop a plant in a real way. This gives you more opportunity. Yes, Solus, you can use the shots like primary shotgun, but this gives you a little bit more quicker response time. So definitely think that is a good change. I do think that these buffs are a step in the right direction of buffing operators that maybe were a little bit weaker into making them a little bit stronger. I mean, nothing too crazy. Like, I would just take operators that are in this category and then just make changes and see if the community wants them or not. And obviously operators like Clash, you know, maybe not, but you know, like buffing Jackal, Aurora, Zero, Capitao, Knock, Amaru. Like, I don't think that would really break the game. I think that would just make, you know, all operators that are in like the crazy spectrum would come down a little bit, and these operators would go up a little bit. You want all the operators to feel like they're like in this blue sphere up here, and then, you know, everything's going to feel a lot better. So, anti-toxicity update, which to me was a little weird because I saw this and then I saw this right afterwards. So kudos getting warned about his alt chat, type it in his Twitch link, sure, whatever, and then saying robo bitch. Brother, you have operators that say big fucking hole coming right up. I don't understand this one at all. This moderated thing needs some work. So, all right, let's recap and really talk about, like, is Siege making a comeback? Is it dying? What is Save Siege really accomplishing? Let's go through it. So, Save Siege is a good thing for the community to let Ubisoft know that we aren't happy and that we want changes. I know we've been screaming them from the rooftops, but until there's like that ultimatum, like people are going to leave, I don't really feel like the listening aspect of it is going to fully be there. I do feel like that has gotten across when I see changes like this, that they are trying to address the concerns that people have. Do I think Siege is dying? No, because I think that people have been saying Siege is dying every season for the last several years because of cheaters. You play a cheater and then you take to Twitter and be like, Siege is dying. I get it. No one wants to play cheaters. It's really damn annoying. I think that addressing anything before the anti-cheat situation is like putting a band-aid on a knife wound. I personally would rather address the knife wound than just, oh, here, take some aspirin. I'd rather, maybe suture it up or something. Even if it came down to hiring a small team to do manual bans and having like all the Twitch partners or YouTube creators or whatever, having them have that resource to just send cheaters in, because if your content creators are getting people banned, those are people that the cheaters that you're playing anyway, so you're gonna get elo back regardless. I wouldn't mind playing cheaters as much if I knew that rollback was always going to be there, but a lot of the time I don't see rollback, and when there's like that 2-week window, if someone gets banned, if it's past 2 weeks and you don't get elo, it's like, okay, well, I'm playing some of these cheaters and I'm not getting a rollback and I'm losing those games. Cause I play cheaters all the time. I don't know about you guys, but it's ranked's been rough. Last season or two. Last season was really bad. This season, on the positive note, this season has been a lot better than last season. Last season was completely horrific. This season has been all right. I'd rate it a 5 out of 10 with last season being a 2 out of 10. Like, I just feel like a lot more could be done with the amount of resources that Ubisoft has at their disposal, especially getting acquired by that, that other company. I think it was Tencent or, whatever. Just hiring like a small team of like 4 or 5 people to go through reports and just, ban some of these people out. Like, I feel like there's no real reason for me to be playing like a level 80 account that's one season played champion that has a 1.9. Like, at the very worst, it's a Smurf account. So the ban's still justified. I hate to say that, but like, you're not supposed to be alting in the first place. So at the very least, that's still, an account that should be banned. And at the worst, it's probably, just a cheater floating around. So like, I feel like there could be a lot more done, and I don't really understand why it's not. So is the Save Siege movement really doing anything, going all the way back to the beginning? I think so. I think that they are trying to address our concerns, but it doesn't feel like they're addressing them in a way that like is going to leave us with a smile on our faces. But that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe, drop a comment, leave a like down below for more. Let me know what you guys want to see next time. Different type of video. I just wanted to kind of like, talk about the situation, because I've been asked this a couple times, like yesterday and the day before, about, the updates, the changes, how I feel about it. So I just want to make this video talking about the changes and just generally how I feel about everything. All right. Love you guys. Peace out.